After what could be considered a huge misstep, I'm of course referring to the disinfectant comment made by President Donald Trump on Thursday, the president appears to have decided to forego having similar press conferences in the future. In a recent tweet, the president states, "What is the purpose of having White House news conferences when the lamestream media asks nothing but hostile questions and then refuses to report the truth or facts accurately? They get record ratings and the American people get nothing but fake news. Not worth the time and effort." Virtually any legitimate public relations specialist would argue against such a claim. PR professionals see great value in using the media to their advantage to market products, improve an organization's image, and even conduct crisis management, just to name a few things. Turn to any public relations expert of your choice and you will find that President Trump is doing things terribly wrong. And the things that he is doing wrong, he has been doing wrong for quite some time. Consider the blog by PR professional Lisa Goldsberry of Axia Public Relations back in 2017, where she lists 4 major mistakes being made by the Trump administration when dealing with the media. Those 4 things being berating the media, putting questionable spokespersons out front, lying, and denying media access. We could spend all day on these 4 things, so let's just discuss the first one, berating the media. Goldberry writes, "Getting into a war of words with journalists is a losing battle. They have far more experience, ammunition, and authority. What Trump is experiencing right now is the case of the media using their ammunition against him, perhaps due to his constantly scolding and berating them."
I saved tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of lives by putting
time that you bought. The argument is that you bought yourself some time. You didn't use it to prepare hospitals. You didn't use it to ramp up testing. Right now,
you're so disgraceful. It's so disgraceful the way you said it. Let me just listen. I just went over it. I just went over it.
In an unprecedented crisis.
Nobody thought we should do it, and when I did it.
But what did you do with the time that you bought?
You know
the
we
month
did.
Of February. That
we did.
Was a gap.
What do you do?
Month of February.
What do you do when you have no case in the whole United States? When you excuse me, you reported it. 0 cases, 0 deaths on January 17th.
February, the entire
January. I said in January.
Your video has a complete gap.
On January 30th.
What did your administration do in February with the time that your travel ban bought?
A lot.
What?
A lot.
Actually, it's the golden rule and basic common sense. One tweeter, Nick Pappas, responded to Trump's giving up on press conferences tweet. He writes, "It's only natural to expect hostile questions when you treat people with so much hostility. Trump calls the press the enemy of the people, then complains when they don't act like his friends."
The nearly 1.8 million tests that you say the United States has done, the Inspector General for the Department of Health and Human Services released a report today, a survey of more than 300 hospitals across the country, and the number one complaint from those hospitals were severe shortages of testing supplies and a really long wait time. I mean, a week or longer.
And did I hear the word Inspector General? Really? It's wrong. And they'll talk to you about it. It's wrong.
But this is your own government.
Well, where did he come from, the Inspector General? What's his name?
It came from the Inspector
No,
General
what's his name?
report. I don't know his name
Well,
off the top
find
of
me
my
his name.
head.
Let me know, okay? If
But-
you find me his name, I'd appreciate it.
But, sir, these are hospitals
All I can tell
that
you
do
is
not-
this.
Sir,
We put up on the
these
board,
are
you're going to ask the Admiral, but
These are
we are
hospitals
doing,
who say that they're waiting a week or longer
Fine.
to get their
speak to
test
the Admiral.
results. Why
but
is
we've
it
done
still
more
taking so
testing
long?
and had more results than any country anywhere in the world. They're doing an incredible job. Now they're all calling us. They want our testing. What are we doing? How do you do the 5-minute test? How do you do the 15-minute test? So give me the name of the Inspector General. Could politics be entered into that?
Follow up on this question of the HHS Inspector General, and by the way, her name was Christy Grimm, and it wasn't so much her opinion, but they interviewed 323 different hospitals.
Well, it still could be her opinion. When was she appointed? When was she appointed?
I'm not sure when she was
Would you
appointed.
do me a favor? Let me know.
I'll check.
No, let me know now. I have to know now, John. Let me know now. Because we are doing an incredible job in testing. We are doing a better job than anybody in the world right now in testing. There's nobody close. And other nations admit this. Other nations have admitted it very strongly. Other nations are calling us, wanting to know about our testing. Let me know when she was appointed, would you?
Specifically,
Go ahead,
what
please.
she was saying was that there had been a delay in the lab.
Okay, thank you very much. How long has that person been in government? Could I ask you that?
This did serve in the previous administration.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. Oh, I see. You didn't tell me that, John. You didn't tell me that. Did serve in the previous administration. You mean the Obama administration. Thank you for telling me that. See, there's a typical fake news deal.
You asked me when she was appointed. I told you when she was appointed.
You're a
by your
third-rate
administration.
reporter, and what you just said is a disgrace, okay? You asked me, you said, sir, just got appointed. Take a look at what you said now. I said, when did this person, how long in government? Well, it was appointed in the Obama administration. Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much. You will never make it.
Any legitimate PR professional will be the first one to tell you that building and keeping good relationships with the media is important to good public relations. In fact, Holly Marshall responded similarly to Goldsberry's blog, posting, "This blog was a very interesting yet sad to read because our President of the United States does everything that PR professionals would advise not to do. In all of my PR classes, especially in the ones pertaining to media relations, the number one thing we learn is how important it is to build good relationships with reporters. I am very glad that I was able to read this article that lays out everything that you should not do in public relations."
Said the notion of the federal stockpile was it's supposed to be our stockpile. It's not supposed to be state stockpiles that they then use. What did he mean by our?
Oh, why didn't you ask?
And given the fact that taxpayers from
What's
every
that?
state
I
pays
got you.
for it. No,
You
it's
used the
not a
word
gotcha.
our.
What did he
Our,
mean
you know
by
what
that?
our means? United States of America. That's what it means. It
It's
means
the states.
our. It means the United States of America. And then we take that our and we distribute it to the states.
So why did
Not
you
that
say
we
it's
have
not
to,
supposed to be state stockpiles that they then
because we
use?
need it for the government and we need it for the federal government. But when the states are in trouble, no, to also
Then
keep
who's giving it to if it's not to the states?
to keep for our country, because the federal government needs it too, not just the states. But out of that, we oftentimes choose, as an example, we have almost 10,000 ventilators, and we are ready to rock with those ventilators. We're going to bring them to various areas of the country that need them. But when he says our, he's talking about our country. He's talking, excuse me, he's talking about the federal government. I mean, it's such a basic, simple question, and you try and make it sound so bad. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know what? You ought to be ashamed. It's such a simple question. He said our, and our means for the country, and our means for the states, because the states are a part of the country. Don't make it sound bad. Don't make it sound bad. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, back here.
He doesn't even change the
You just asked your
link on the
question.
website.
You just asked your question in a very nasty tone. Let's go.
You didn't give me an answer.
Please.
Mr. President,
I gave you a perfect answer. You know it. Go ahead.
The public relations professional newsletter, PR News, has created a media relations guidebook. Chapter 2 is all about forming relationships with the media, including articles entitled "Improve Your Industry Reputation by Building Empathy-Based Relationships" and "Partnerships Extend Your Reach and Push Your Message," just to name a few of the articles included in the guidebook. In fact, consider the Air Force Public Affairs Instructions AFI 35-104, where it states, "Engaging with the media is often one of the most rapid and credible means of delivering the commander's message to a desired audience. Experience shows that working proactively with the media increases trust and two-way communication with the media and the public. Remaining transparent, honest, and accessible to the maximum extent possible normally results in greater accuracy, context, and timeliness in communicating with internal and external audiences. Releasing official information through the media can help create, strengthen, or preserve conditions favorable for the advancement of national interests and policies, as well as mitigate any adverse effects from unofficial, misinformed, or hostile sources. So, these things being said, there is a purpose to holding White House news conferences if they were done properly and in accordance to basic public relations practices.